What's going on YouTube? Super Insane 18 here, and I do need to give a big shout out to the People's Card Shop, which is my local card shop. With Nats around the corner, I don't have the time to create the content that I want to, so they are allowing me to use their replays. You'll see here that I am against Kody. You might recognize him from the 3-axis deck profile and combo tutorial that I did several months back, but we'll see that I win the dice roll and opt to go first. Here we're going to see that I do start off my turn by playing a copy of Pot of Prosperity, banishing the 6 for cost. And he is going to Ash Blossom me, but I do have the Dimension Shifter, which I will chain before the Prosperity goes to my graveyard, just to make sure that the D-Shifter is live. I believe here, I know that he's actually playing Marincess, because this is later on in the tournament, so D-Shifter is a card that absolutely ruins the Marincess strategy, so I'm going to set a card and I believe pass my turn to him. No, actually, I have the Barrier statue, so I'm going to normal the statue and then pass to him, which pretty much puts him in a bad position, because it makes him waste away getting over it. But he does just draw and pass his turn. I guess not wanting to play into the shifter, I am going to have the Robina, so I normal summon the Robina, but it is met with an effect veiler since D-Shifter is no longer live. I enter battle and just swing for 1600 and pass my turn to him. Here we're going to see that he normal summons out the copy of Blue Tang, to which I'm going to activate the impermanence when he attempts to use this effect. I don't want him to get a send, so he is just going to swing the Blue Tang into the Barrier statue to make sure that he is no longer locked out. Then he'll activate his Signet Mining, sending the copy of Sleepy Maiden from his hand to add a Cyberus from his deck to his hand, and I believe he's going to add the Seahorse, but I don't quite remember. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, so he does add the copy of Seahorse, and now he's in a really good position to just pretty much go off. There's really nothing else that I can do. I don't have my statue live anymore. D-Shifter isn't live anymore. So he's going to use the Blue Tang to go into the Blue Slung. He's going to target the Sleepy Maiden to add to hand, and using the Blue Tang, he is going to miss, hitting 3 copies of a Hand Trap. So he does get to add his Sleepy Maiden, which he can then summon, and then use the Sleepy Maiden and the Slug to link into the copy of Coral Anemone, and this is pretty much the full combo. Once the Marincess deck gets rolling, there really isn't much you can stop it. So he reborns the Blue Tang and then immediately links it off into the copy of Sea Angel, and then he will activate the Sea Angel effect to add a spell from his deck to his hand. Here he's going to activate the Battle Ocean, so he either A, already has the dive, or B, doesn't feel like he needs it, but now that he has a zone that a Marincess points to, he's going to special summon the Seahorse that he added off the mining, and then link the Anemone and the Sea Angel into a copy of Coral Triangle. He's going to use the Anemone effect to add back a card and then just immediately discard, so it doesn't matter what he added, for the effect of Triangle to add the copy of Wave. Then he'll activate the Battle Ocean, and he will link into the copy of Aqua Argonaut. Here he's just preemptively choosing his targets because he knows I can't stop him at this point. So he makes the Aqua Argonaut and equips 3 from his graveyard with the effect of Battle Ocean, so that is now a 4300 spell trap negate that he can use to run over my Robina. Alright, so he's going to pass his turn since he already battled, and I do draw the Duality for turn, but he is going to negate it with the Aqua Argonaut, and at that point I feel like it's just game. I can see myself thinking here, and I decide to concede so we can go to game 2. Alright, and since we lost game 1, we are allowed to choose whether we would like to go first game 2, and we are going to opt to go first. Obviously, this is a deck that I need to be able to set up some form of board against him, otherwise he's going to make a big monster that I not only can't get rid of, but will also have a lot of trouble trying to activate anything under, so I'm going to start off my turn by activating the Pot of Duality, and we'll see here that I don't really reveal much, but I add the Unexplored Winds, which pretty much tells us that my hand is cracked, because if it wasn't cracked, I would have had to add that Prosperity to be able to continue to dig. So here I'm going to activate the Unexplored Winds, and I remember my thought process here. I wanted to try to bait out any form of hand trap, so I am going to activate its effect, hoping that he might meet it with an Ash Blossom, but he doesn't, so I'm going to reveal the Eaglin, and since I went through my deck and shuffled with the Duality, he is going to cut before I put the Eaglin on the bottom. So I put Eaglin on the bottom and draw a card, and now I just pretty much have to play because he either A, already has the Ash Blossom and didn't waste it, or B, he doesn't have anything to stop me. So I'm going to start by normal summoning out the Eaglin, and if I remember, I already had an Empin in hand, but I opted to go for the second Empin anyway for follow-up on the next turn. So we're going to see here that I add my copy of Empin off of Eaglin, and then using the Eaglin's additional summon, I'm going to add the Robina. Now with the Robina here, I am going to add the copy of Barrier Statue, and I remember having a conversation with Kody about this, how he said that was the wrong play, and that what I should have done is added added the Stree to be able to remove important materials from his graveyard, and that the barrier statue could have been established during his turn, but it ends up working out for me. I'm going to go ahead and summon the Empen by tributing both the Robina and the Eaglin, activating Empen as Chainlink 1 and Eaglin as Chainlink 2. Eaglin will add himself back to my hand, and Empen will add me my copy of Dreaming Town. I'll summon the barrier statue off of the additional summon that Empen gives me, and then I will set 3 cards and pass my turn over to Kody. Kody's going to activate the Signet Mining to start off his turn, discarding his copy of Battle Ocean, and I don't have anything to stop him, so depending on what he searches here will kind of tell us what he has in his hand. If he goes for the Blue Tang, then he needs the starter. If he goes for anything else, then he probably already has the Blue Tang. We're going to see him add the copy of Spring Girl here, so in my head I'm thinking he already has the Blue Tang and he's just trying to get additional extension. So we're going to expect that he normals the Blue Tang here, but I don't think it really matters because I'm fully set up. But instead he activates the Mystic Mine and passes his turn. I'm not quite sure why he would do this. I'm guessing he's just kind of putting me in that sort of ultimatum where I either have a tribute summonable monster or I don't, and if I don't, he's got a couple of turns until I see one since I can't activate effects. But unbeknownst to him, I did have the second Empen, so I am going to be able to tribute his Mystic Mine with the effect of the Unexplored Winds. So tributing the barrier statue and the Mystic Mine, I am going to get to activate the Empen as Chainlink 1 and the Robina as Chainlink 2, but Kody just concedes knowing that there is nothing left that he can do in this game. And having lost game 2, Kody is going to opt to go first game 3, and I am going to just shotgun the Dimension Shifter here in the standby, which isn't the smartest thing to do in case he's on a copy of Psyframe Gear Gamma, but I want to make sure that he can't activate anything like a Signet Mining since it has to send 4 cost, so he's just going to set 2 and pass, but on my standby activate the copy of Anti-Spell Fragrance, which is typically a very good card against Floowandereeze, but unfortunately for him I did not need it to be able to play, so we're going to see here that I normal summon out my copy of Robina, and I'm going to activate its effect to add a level 4 or lower. Here we're going to see that I add the Eaglin, and using the Robina's additional summon, I'm going to summon the Eaglin, activating its effect to add a copy of Empen. Now that I have the Empen in my hand, I can go ahead and tribute both the Robina and the Eaglin to summon out the Empen, getting the Empen and both of the effects of the Banished Birds. I do typically only use one because I want to leave one of them banished, so here I'm just kind of considering which one I want to add back. If I remember correctly, I do choose the Eaglin here, so we're going to Empen Chainlink 1, Eaglin Chainlink 2, Eaglin returns to hand, and Empen gets us the Dreaming Town. So now we're in a really good position because we put him under Shifter, which stopped his turn. It also stopped his hand traps. If I remember correctly, he did have double Valor Droll in this opening hand, so I will go to Battle Phase and swing for 2700 direct. Then in Main Phase 2, I will set my copy of Dreaming Town as well as another couple of cards here. I believe I had a Book of Moon, and if I remember correctly, the Advent of Adventure as well, but after I set, I will go ahead and pass to Kody. Here he's going to set a field spell, so it's either the Battle Ocean or the Mystic Mine, his own anti-spell kind of hindering him more than it hindered me. When he attempts to leave his main phase, I am going to activate the effect of Dreaming Town, normal summoning the Eaglin and using it as Chainlink 1 with Robina as Chainlink 2. The Robina will add itself back to hand, and the Eaglin will go ahead and add us a copy of Empen. Now, this sets up an OTK that I have because I am playing the Gustav Max as well as the Lieb, which will be an exact 10k if he lets me do it. So off the additional summon on the Eaglin, I will summon the Taken, and Taken will target the Dreaming Town to add back to my hand. Here he's going to Droll now that we are no longer under the Shifter, which is fine by me. I can still add the card from my Banish, and all that this is going to stop is it's going to stop the ability to search off of the Empen, but I don't really care because, again, this is just going to be game. Here we're going to use the Taken, and Kody is going to concede, giving us the match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know the deal. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, comment, share with your friends, and maybe consider supporting me on Patreon, because for just $1, you can support the channel in a way that I would never be able to tell you how much I fully appreciate. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.